Okay guys, let's now move to question 1.2, which is simultaneous equation. So you're given two equations and you're expected to solve them simultaneously, meaning you're supposed to provide two values of x with their corresponding two values of y. And this is how you solve a simultaneous equation. So you're given two equations, the first one being x plus y is equals to 3, and the other one is 2x squared plus 4xy minus y is equals to 15. And this question is allocated 6 marks. So normally simultaneous equations are not that much complicated. It's just a matter of you applying your mathematical knowledge by substituting where necessary and calculating by solving either x or y. You get a final answer and you substitute it into the previous equation. It could be an equation that you generated from the given equations. So the first step is to come up with the third equation. So you're given the first equation, which is x plus y, and you refer to it as equation 1. And then this equation, you refer to it as equation 2. You then come up with equation 3. So in this case, you need to decide between x and y and decide which one you'll make the subject of the formula. So for you to decide, you need to take into consideration the nature of your second equation. So you either choose x or y based on the complexity of equation 2. So in this case, you need to decide between x and y and choose which one to make the subject of the formula. You can choose x, you can choose y. So for our calculations, let's choose y and make it the subject of the formula. So that's how we come up with equation 3. So it's y, you write x to the other side of the equal sign, and it becomes y is equals to 3 minus x, which is our equation 3. So next step, you substitute your equation 3 into equation 2. So our equation 2 is 2x squared plus 4xy minus y is equals to 15. So in place of y, we substitute by 3 minus x. So we've got 2x squared plus 4x. In place of y, we substitute 3 minus x, which is our equation 3. Minus, in place of y, we substitute with 3 minus x. 3 minus x is equals to 15. Then we simplify. We've got 2x squared plus 12 comes from 4 times 3 is equals to 12x minus 4x times x, it becomes 4x squared, minus 1 times 3 is equals to minus 3, minus 1 times minus x, it becomes a positive x, it's equals to 15. So next step, you've got 2x squared minus 4x squared, it becomes minus 2x squared. You've got 12x plus x, it becomes 13x. You've got your 3 minus 15 as shown here as 3 minus 15. So you wrote 15 on the other side of the equal sign and it becomes a minus 3 minus 15 is equals to 0. So you remain with 0 because you moved 15 to the left side of the equal sign. So it remains as 0. Then you further simplify that equation. So you've got minus 2x squared plus 13x minus 18, which comes from minus 3 minus 15. So now you just divide all terms by a negative sign just to remove that negative sign so that you'll be able to write it in the standard form and factorize. So now you've got 2x squared minus 13x. You just change a sign from positive to negative, and then you've got minus 18 there, you change it to positive 18. It's equals to 0. So when it comes to 0, you don't necessarily need to write negative 0, because negative 0 is still the same as 0, or it's equals to 0. So you've got your simplification in the standard form. So now you can easily factorize. So when you factorize, these are the factors that you get. You can still use your quadratic formula to factorize or find the factors, and you equate these to 0 and you get your x as 9 over 2. Remember, you move minus 9 to the right side of the equal sign, it becomes positive 9, and you divide by 2 so that it cancels, and you do the same on the right side. That's why you've got 9 over 2. And also you do the same for this, and you have your x minus 2, which is equated to 0. Then you move 2 to the right side of the equal sign, and it becomes x is equals to 2. On your last step, you substitute your answers into equation. You can either substitute into equation 1 or equation 3. So it's easy when you substitute into equation 3, because you take your x value, you substitute it there, you punch on a calculator, you'll find the corresponding y value. You do the same for this, where you take 2, you substitute, and you get the corresponding y value. And also you can still solve by substituting into equation 1, which is a bit longer. I will show you how you calculate your corresponding y value by substituting into equation 1. So you have x plus y is equals to 3 as your equation 1. You then substitute x, which is 9 over 2, in place of x, and you move it to the right side of the equal sign. Then your y is equals to 3 minus 9 over 2, and this is the answer that you get as the corresponding y value, where x is 9 over 2. You do the same on this side. So you substitute 2 in place of x, and you solve for y. You finally get your y as 1. So where x is 2, your corresponding y value is 1. So that's how you solve simultaneous equation, and this is where you score your marks.